Good morning. Time to make the coffee. I'm having coffee with Bob again today. It's only going to be 58 degrees today. And I looked, and by the end of the week it's going to be 87. That's just crazy. In the spring and in the fall here in Ohio, you just never know what the weather's going to do. It's all over the place. The lake has a big effect on our weather too here. But it's a resource that's really a pleasure to have. You can do all kinds of things on the lake, go to the beach, lots of boating going on, all sorts of fun things you can do. We have Cedar Point, not too far from here. It's about an hour and a half drive, so that's a very big tourist attraction. So lots of things really to do here in Ohio. We have the Emerald Necklace, which is the Metro Parks that runs all the way through Ohio. And it's like a U shape, and that's why they call it the Emerald Necklace. So all in all, it's not a bad place to live. So I'm just having plain coffee again today and watching Bob paint his picture here. I think that's neat the way it just sort of appears. So I'm just going to have some hazelnut creamer in here today. That's all. Very plain, simple. So I think I need a little break from the garden, but I need to get that stuff planted outside. But it's coming down to less and less to do, which I'm happy about because I'm getting really tired. Cheers. You know, after putting all those creamers and stuff and the chocolate creamer, plain old coffee sometimes just doesn't do it for me. But that's okay. It's still tasty. Oh, there we go. Let there be light, said the Lord. So, anyway, I'm not doing too much today because I've been really going gangbusters with that garden, and I'm getting really tired. I know a lot of people think that I get a lot done, but by my standards, I really don't. I wish I could get a whole lot more done. I'm not the quickest horse out of the starting line here. But, you know, slow but steady wins the race, I guess. Not that there's a race going on, because that's the last thing I want to do anymore in my life is race around. So, anyway, I think I'm just going to have a cup of coffee with Bob for a while. Just sit and think about what I still have to do. I still have my little greenhouse that I want to put up. And there's another area of the garden that needs to be weeded. And I need to plant the rest of my flowers and my herbs. And then I need to plant my beans and my squashes. And then, but that's easy. All right, I'll meet you at the budget book. Well, I'm in my kitchen this morning. You haven't seen me in here for a while. And I had this Delicio bacon seasoning. And it was all lumpy and clumped up. So what I did, I took my little mortar and pestle and ground it back up, and it did great. And now it's all powdery again. So this morning, I'm kind of in the mood for a little BLT. I have some bread that I want to use up in the fridge. I had it frozen. I have these two pork-like cutlets frozen. in the freezer. I thawed those. So I'm going to cut some strips of this and put it in the bacon seasoning and fry it in my air fryer. And I think that'll be tasty. But I don't want to use all this, so I'm going to put most of it back in here. But if you have some clumped up spices, don't throw them out. Get out your mortar and pestle and grind them back up. I mean, you grind spices in there, right? So I'm going to go ahead and cut this up. And then I saved a bunch of strawberry scraps, and I'm just going to put these in my strawberry hanging baskets and see if any of them will come up. So if nothing else, it'll feed the soil. So I got that going on today. And then I have some of my old sourdough starter that had gotten moldy, and I saved it, and I'm going to water this down and water some of my plants with it. Not my indoor plants, my outdoor plants, and see how that works. So another thing I did, I took some cuttings. I was going to buy a clematis, and they're like $15 and up. So what I did was I took some cuttings from a white one I have, a purple double one, and the pink one. And I'm going to try and root that and see if I can't make like a combination one where all three colors will bloom at once. Another garden experiment. So, okay, let me get this ready and I'll be back. Okay, so I cut some thin slices. I still have one left. I want to make like a salad of sorts out of that. But I have some of the bacon flavor in here, and I'm just coating all the strips. And then I'm going to air fry it and see if I can get it crispy. I don't know, I made these pork-like cutlets a long time ago, and I think I got the recipe, I think it was from 86 Eats. She's got some really good vegan meat recipes on there. So, okay, that should be enough for a sandwich. Gonna air fry that, and then I'll be back and we'll see how it turns out. I don't know. I experiment with everything, with my food, with my garden. It makes life fun. Okay, I air fried this, and it's really crunchy. The taste is good. I think I might have air fried it a little too long, but that's okay. I always liked my bacon crunchy. Okay, here I cut up the other pork cutlet, and I want to make like a sandwich spread out of that. So I'm going to put it all into my little blender thing here. I have like 1/4 of a small onion, and the seitan. So if you don't have any vegan bacon and you have some seitan hanging around, give this a try. It's really tasting good. I want to get a recipe for a bacon seasoning. I'm sure they're out there, because buying this, where is it? Here it is. This is kind of expensive, so you can read the ingredients and kind of, you know, make up your own recipe to your own taste buds. So I'm going to go ahead and blend this up a little bit and add some other things to it and see how it turns out. And I put a little bit of the bacon seasoning in here too, so we'll see. All right, I'll be back when this is all ground up. Okay, so this is about the consistency that I wanted. I'm going to add some garlic granules. And I save these little containers. They're from Aldi's, and I just refill them from other seasonings. You know, like I buy the bigger containers of garlic powder, and then I just save those. So, and then I'm going to put some of my homemade zucchini relish. Made this from a couple zucchinis that I had. And it's like a dill pickle relish. You can add sweet pickle relish. You can add dill pickle, whatever you want. But I want to use this up because it's really tasty. And I add that when I make tartar sauce. Anything really that you want some dill pickles. Potato salad. I'm going to put in a little mayo. Start out with, a good heaping tablespoon. And then just some yellow mustard. Okay. And some salt. Not too much because I already have that bacon seasoning in there. And some pepper. You could add a little hot sauce to this if you want. Give it a kick. You could add some cayenne if you like spicy. I don't like spicy. So I'm just going to give this another blend. And then I'll have this probably for dinner. It's either this on a sandwich or a non-bread pizza. I'm not sure which I want yet. But I always have to have something quick for dinner, because I'm really tired by the time dinner comes around. I push myself all day long to get things done. So I just want to put something in my mouth when I get to that point. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so here's my sandwich spread. And you can do this with any flavor of seitan. Chicken, if you want to make it like a tuna spread. You could add seaweed to it, some kelp or some nori, and, you know, make all different kinds of spreads for your sandwiches, and just start off with some seitan, whatever you have. It's really good. Add some tomato, some lettuce on a nice hoagie bun. That would be delicious. And then too, I also cut up some onion, the rest of the onion. That way I have it ready for a salad, because I need to start harvesting some of my lettuce and spinach from outside. So I'm going to go ahead and put together my seitan BLT, and I'll be back. Okay, well, I'm going to put together my sandwich, but I have my tomato here, and I cut up what was left, and that's going into a little jar. And I'm going to, this is for a salad for later, and marinated tomatoes are really good. And I'm going to also add some of the cut up onion and put that in there for a salad. And then what I'm going to do, because I really hardly waste anything, I have this teeny tiny bit of salad dressing left, not really enough for a salad, but what I'm going to do is add the rest of it to the tomatoes and onions and use up every bit of that. Let that drain out. And folks, I'm not being cheap. I'm being frugal because I don't want to spend a lot of money on food that goes into the garbage. So this is already my compost ingredients. So that's what I'm doing with this stuff. The rest of these onions will be for a future salad. And now I'm just going to put together my sandwich. So I got this lettuce. This is what's left from a flash food box. So that's where that came from. The tomatoes were on sale at Aldi's. The bread was from an Oops. Orlando makes the Oops bread, where they make too much or whatever, or they're seconds, I don't know what they are. But you can, if you look in your grocery store, sometimes you can find the Oops brand, and I bought a big bag of these rolls, and I'm just having half of one this morning. That's plenty. And so there we go, a very cheap meal. And like I said, I've had the seitan in my freezer for quite a while. I didn't really care for it just as a pork chop. It was a little bit too much seitan, but it's really, really good in that spread and as a bacon alternative. I'm surprised. And if you save your lids from your mayo, they also fit on these little Dollar Tree jars, which means they would also fit on a regular mason jar. So, okay, those are all the food-saving tips that I have for you today. Dinner is pretty much ready, and it's really cold this morning. So I'm kind of waiting a little bit for it to warm up a little bit, but it's only going up to 58. And the mower's out there today, so I do want to go plant some of my herbs. So, but I'm waiting a little bit. So I'll go out there this afternoon and do some planting. So, all right, I'm going to make my sandwich. Okay, here's breakfast. My seitan bacon, tomato, lettuce, and I think it'll be yummy. So let me give it a taste. And it's going to be messy, that's for sure. All right, going in. I save these pics from restaurants. They give these to you sometimes. And you can wash them, they're like bamboo. So I save those for sandwiches like this. It's really tasty. This is the back of the Bob mug. So that seitan is very crispy on the outside. Depending how thick you cut it, it has a little bit of chew on the inside. It's really good. In fact, I like this better than the store-bought imitation bacon, and I know what's in it. So, okay, I'll be back a little later, and we'll see what's going on in the garden. Okay, back in the garden. So I need to plant these herbs, and honestly, it's not very pleasant out here. There's a cool, cold wind blowing, and I just don't feel like being out here today. But I do want to plant a few of these herbs. At least get that off my plate. So I'm not going to be out here too long today. I'll wait until tomorrow when it warms up. It's supposed to get really cold tonight. Maybe even down to high 30s. Oh, if there's another frost, I'm going to cry. All right, well, I'll be back later when I get to go back inside. Okay, well, I got a lot of things planted up. I planted up all my little perennials that I started from seed. I have no idea what they are. I think these might be some calendula. The nasturtium I planted from seed, that's doing real well. And then I moved those poor little impatiens into these pots. I'm hoping they do better. So I got all those planted up. In here I put all the little calendula seedlings that I started from seed. So we'll see how they do, because this gets pretty dry. But we'll see. They couldn't stay in the thing that I had them in. It was just too small and too dry. They weren't growing, so we'll see if they start to grow now. My oregano has gone crazy. I need to harvest and dry some of that, at least half of it. And over here I planted the rest of the calendulas. And these two pots also have, oh dear, senior moment. Well, anyway, they have corms in there, so that should be nice when it comes up. And my little green onions, you probably can't see it, are starting to come up as well. I got most of my herbs planted. I still have a pineapple sage and a stevia to plant because they get really big. And the rest of these are tomatoes that I have to figure out what to do with, because I have quite a few tomatoes. I also have to start harvesting my lettuce here. It's beautiful. This is the stuff I winter sowed, so it's doing great. Time to start eating it. Still have these begonias I need to plant and these sweet William, but I still have pots back here that need flowers. So I'll be planting those. These tomatoes are doing great. I can't plant too much in here that the dogs will eat, because they'll eat everything. So I think it's probably just going to be tomatoes in here. I planted all the marigolds, but I still have quite a few zinnias I need to plant. Those will be going into the garden to attract pollinators. And these are going to be going on my deck because it's real shady. So I'm going to be planting those and the, whatchamacallits, up in my deck boxes. This is a little Meyer lemon from my other lemon that I raised from a seed. That's going to my daughter. And these are all blood oranges that I planted up yesterday. So I guess they're doing okay so far. We'll see. So over here in my little garden, my spinach is going crazy. I need to harvest that. And some of it is already going to seed. So I'll probably just let that go and gather the seeds from that. But the rest of it I need to eat. This is all perpetual spinach, which is chard. I need to start harvesting that so they have room to grow, because these will get really big. Same with the kale. I can eat these as baby kale and then let a few of them just grow big. Over here I planted mostly my peppers. I have one in the house that I need to dig up. It needs to go in this pot, but I gave everybody a marigold. This is Lovage that came back from last year, and it has sort of a celery kind of flavor. And a little purple pepper, I put that in there. So I have all sweet peppers. I don't have any hot peppers. So these are all peppers. My grape that I planted this year is doing okay. I put sage in here with this tomato, and my Malabar spinach is starting to get seeds. So I'll let this go to seed, and I'll plant some more of that, and hopefully be able to eat that. In here I put some mojito peppermint, and a patio pepper along with a tomato, and of course a marigold. And same in here, sweet pepper, marigolds, and a tomato. So these are all my tomatoes. And another pepper. In here I planted little calendula seedlings. Just trying to get rid of them, so there they are. And in here I planted those teeny tiny broccoli sprouts. I don't know if they'll grow. I need to water everything. The cauliflower that I winter sowed is doing great. I'll probably harvest some of this for a salad. There goes a plane. More tomatoes. More tomatoes. And in here I put these little tiny asparagus that I grew from seed. I don't know if they'll grow in there or not, but... And then this is lemongrass, and it's kind of sad looking, but it's the only one that they had, so I grabbed it, and I think it'll come back okay. And I have tons of grapes everywhere. Lots and lots of grapes. So this grapevine, I think, is 3 years old now. So I'm hoping that I will get some grapes this year. I'm new to growing grapes. So this cauliflower isn't doing nearly as well as the cauliflower over there, but that's okay. This was kind of poopy looking, and it's perking up, so it'll be fine. Under here, I have 3 cabbages. So all these are covered because I don't want bugs on them. And there's the rest of the garden. So it's coming along. I'm so excited that my things are growing. And I hope it stays that way and Mother Nature cooperates. So, okay, I know, the garden, but it's taking up a very, very big part of my life. And I'm so excited I want to share. All right, I'm going to go have some dinner and wrap up this video. Okay, my friends, I'm exhausted. I'm having dinner. I'm just having one of those rolls with some tomato pesto and Italian shredded cheese. That's all I had energy for. And then I'm having some seasoned fries, frozen. So that's my dinner for tonight. I'm not even cutting up a salad or anything. I'm exhausted. So I figure another 3 or 4 days and I should have everything pretty much wrapped up and planted in the garden. So then for a while I'll just have to water and feed them, and put in my beans and zucchini and do a little succession sowing. So that is the plan. So how are you guys doing with your gardens? I know tonight it's supposed to get cold again. I hope it's not another frost freeze. Ugh. I don't know what I'm going to do if it is, because that's just too much stuff to cover. But, you know, our last frost date is supposed to be the 15th, and we're way past that. So anyway, I'm going to finish my dinner, and I am done. All right, my friends, I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.